Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. So today we're going to talk about what is going on with the National Association of Realtors. They are under fire. They are getting hit with lawsuits left and right now, and it is going to impact how real estate transactions have been going on since I can remember. So let's get straight into it because here's the facts. Buyers have not been paying real estate commissions to agents, whether it be the seller's agent or the buyer's agent. What we've seen over time is that it is customary that the seller of the property, the person who is getting the most money in this whole deal, pays not only the buyer's fees, but the seller's fees as well for their agents. So when someone is shopping for a property, for example, me as an investor, I never had to pay my own agent to shop me around because he got that from just the purchase of the property itself. Some people would say that that is why the prices of the homes have risen a lot, and that is also contributing to inflation. However, the flip side of that is if a buyer wants to buy a property, they're now going to need to come up with additional money in order to pay their agent. So they will no longer have the seller's agent paying 3% for the buyer's agent. What that means is either they have the money on hand, they have the cash on hand, so now you're going to need more than 3.5% down, or you're going to have to increase your loan in order to pay your buyer's agent. What that means is property prices may actually have to come down. You may have to now negotiate cutting the price of a property in order to pay your buyer's agent, especially if you don't have enough money in these high interest rate environments. So what does that mean? We're going to see wording like house is priced to sell. We're going to see things like last and final offers, because we're still not in a seller's market yet. We're still not in a buyer's market yet. So that means we're still going to see that type of verbiage where it's as if they have the most offers on the table and they're just waiting for their right buyer. Or they're going to say, we don't want to negotiate on the price. So it's either you have the money or back off the deal. Don't even look at this property, right? And then if houses in the area are appraising for X amount of dollars, now it's going to be hard to get the value of the home to be less. You may have to ask for cash back in order to pay your agent. So that's the only sneaky way to keep the property value the same, but to lower your out-of-pocket expenses. You don't have to increase the loan. You don't have to come out of pocket with the money. You just now have to negotiate that the seller pays the closing costs within that loan agreement, within that housing price that is already set in stone. What will this end up doing? Well, this will affect you in many ways. For example, in Ohio, a lot of basements have structural damage, a lot of foundation issues. So now, as an investor or even as a home buyer, you want to make sure that your house is sturdy and is going to last you several years. This can cost you $3,500 to $6,000 depending on who you go with. For me, I stay right around $5,000 in order to fix up the foundation of a property. If I have to now ask the seller for costs to go to my agent, I am less likely to be able to get a percentage towards the foundation issues that may arise. So now this is actually going to lower the amount of home that people can afford. However, this is probably the best case scenario in terms of lowering inflation, but the worst case scenario in getting as much bang for your buck as a new buyer or home owner or even investor. How does this affect real estate agents and the way they communicate with their buyers and sellers? Well, a lot of people are actually hounding real estate agents right now. And to be honest, if you have great real estate agents, I personally don't think that it's fair to them that this is happening. Now, what I will say is it also fair to the the seller of the property to have to pay 3% to the buyer's agent? No, it's not. And luckily, I already have a few properties, so now I get to reap the benefit of not having to pay for buyer's agents anymore. But you may even have to increase the commissions of your seller's agents very soon. We don't know how this is going to transpire because at the end of the day, it is a business. People need to make money. And so if agents see more money on the buyer side, they're going to flock there. If they see more money on the seller side, they're going to flock there. And most likely, the more money is going to be on the seller's side, most likely. And so because a seller is less likely to say, my good agents, I'm going to treat them poorly in this transaction. No. Right? Unless they're just a bad person, like overall. Most likely they're going to treat their agents very, very well. And they know that their agents are going to show their property, list it well, list it nicely, get the right professional pictures going, all that stuff. And because of that, you want to ensure that they're paid a reasonable percentage. And it may be more than 3% moving forward, maybe 4 or even 5%. I don't see it getting as high as 6%. I would definitely fight back against that because what was the point of the lawsuit if you're going to be paying one agent a 6% commission, especially when you had to pay that monthly payment every single month, right, on time as a responsible adult. But I can definitely see it getting as high as 5% in order to allow them to stay in the business and allow them to do their jobs. So with that being said, what is going to happen to the buyers is going to impact buyers even more because if you're a first-time homeowner and you need 3.5% down to buy a property, I'm sure that there will be new type of grants, new assistance programs in order to help you get into a home, in order to help you pay for your buyer's agent. However, if you are not able to pay these bills yourself, or if you're not able to pay these costs yourself, you're most likely not going to be able to take care of a home or a property for a long period of time. You're most likely not in the financial position to actually be purchasing a home in the first place. And so I would say that it is a bad deal for you. Now, if you already have the money and then these services are available to you, I would say go ahead and take that. That's an amazing service, right? And of course, there's going to be grants and several programs that come out in order to help buyers, especially first-time home buyers, with getting into a property. With that being said, agents will be more serious about vetting their potential buyers. They're going to be more serious about understanding what they can actually afford. They're going to definitely require pre-approvals. They were requiring it in the best environments when interest rates were flying through the roof. And you know why? When interest rates were so low, and you know why? Because houses were just flying off the shelves. And so they needed that pre-approval just to be able to compete. Now they're going to need the pre-approval just to be able to assume that you can actually purchase what you say you're going to purchase, and most importantly, pay them. If you can't pay them, what's the point, right? They're not there to just show you beautiful houses that you can't afford. And so I definitely will see a tightening in that regard. I do think that investors like me get a bit of a pass in that regard. Sometimes I don't need to have my pre-approval right away because I already have all the paperwork. I have the tax forms, I have the W-2s, I have all of my investments and assets ready to go. I have so many things that I can just put there right away, ready to go, in order to get a pre-approval or a property approved. And so just to save a 2 or 1% interest rate, I'm allowed to do that, and most agents will allow me to do that just because of the reputation that I already have. However, if you're new in the game, I had to have a pre-approval when I first got started. Before even looking at properties, I had to make sure that I had that for a year. And honestly, even as a long-term investor, as a someone who is actively buying properties, I still think that it's important to act in good faith and offer the pre-approval to your buyer, regardless if your reputation is good or not, just so that they're not stuck waiting, because it does take time to get a pre-approval done. Sometimes even when you have all the paperwork, it can take 2, 3, 4 days. And although the housing market has slowed down, that's 4 days where your agent can't get paid because they now have to wait on you to get a pre-approval. And I don't think that's fair to them, just so that you can save 1 to 2% on your interest. 1 to 2% on your credit score, especially when it's going to last a whole year. So what I would say to new buyers in the market, people who are entering the market for the first time, if you believe wholeheartedly that you want to buy a property in the next 3 to 6 months, then I would definitely get a pre-approval. If you believe you're going to buy a property in the next 3 to 6 months, definitely get a pre-approval. If you're still working, if you're still saving because you have a certain price point that you're looking for, you can wait. If you're just changing jobs or about to leave a job, you can wait. If you don't believe that you'll be buying a property for at least over a year, you can wait. What are some things that you can do while waiting to get that pre-approval? You can go to open houses. These agents are already there, and so it is not a waste of their time to have a conversation with you or a waste of your time to look at a few properties. Another thing you can do is look at sites like Zillow and Redfin and continue to utilize those sites in order to understand what your price range may be or where you will be at. Another good thing that you can do 6 months prior to purchasing a property is speak to your local lender and see what you may be priced at. You might have an idea of what your credit score is, but make sure you always pull your 1 year free credit report in order to truly know what you can afford. This is important because this will now allow you to have a really good detailed range of where you can be. And with that free credit score report, you can go to your lender and you can say, hey, this is X, Y, and Z, how much I make. What can I afford in this range? Here's my taxes. Here's X, Y, and Z. You go into a bank like Chase Bank, Citibank, whatever bank, TD Bank. They'll be able to tell you what exactly you can afford. And now when you're looking for properties moving forward and interest rates start to go down in 2025, 2020, late 2024, now you're even able to get more house, but you're still looking at a lower price range. And I think that's going to be important for a lot of buyers moving forward. So if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. This is a bonus video for you because I truly want to help as many people as I can. And I knew that this would be a great video for those who are actively looking into real estate. And so if you really appreciate what I do and all the content that I'm giving you, please subscribe to the channel. Again, I might be doing more bonus videos depending on how much reactions, likes, and views this gets. And so I definitely appreciate you all, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.